All right, picture this. The fast-paced, high-flying action of basketball colliding head-on with the dramatic, larger-than-life storytelling of Hollywood. Welcome to today's Explainer, where we are going to dive deep into how the hardwood court and the silver screen converge to create an absolute cultural phenomenon.
Welcome back to all our focused learners out there. Today we're unpacking Sophia M. Johnson's brilliant and truly comprehensive book, Hardwood Heroes. We're going inside the most iconic basketball movies ever made to see how they permanently rewired our view of both the game and the cinema itself.
Here's our playbook for the Explainer. We'll start with cinema meets the hardwood, then move to the ultimate underdog myth, reality, recruiting, and exploitation, hit on race, representation, and love, and finally wrap up with Hollywood spectacle and impact.
Section 1. Cinema meets the hardwood. You know, basketball is fast-paced action, those crazy nail-biting buzzer beaters, and the sheer athleticism. It all just naturally turns the court into a dramatic stage. A term you're going to hear a lot is hoop dreams. But as the author points out, it's really far more than just a sports concept. It is a cinematic zeitgeist. It represents the universal pursuit of aspirations against all odds. Whether it's an unfiltered, gritty documentary or even a live-action cartoon, that intersection of dreams and reality on the court perfectly captures the raw ambition of the human spirit.
Section 2. The ultimate underdog myth.
Now, what's really interesting here is how filmmakers frame the underdog narrative, which is basically the beating heart of sports cinema. Look at how they tackle this across completely different genres. On one side, we have the incredibly gritty realism of Hoosiers, based on the true 1954 Milan Miracle, right? Gene Hackman anchors it with this stoic, dramatic leadership. But then on the flip side, we have Eddie, a totally fictional, fish-out-of-water comedy where Whoopi Goldberg goes from being a loudmouth fan to head coach. Two wildly different approaches for sure, but they both tap into the exact same emotional core.
So, how exactly do these films celebrate the underdog? Well, they emphasize a few key pillars. Because let's face it, it's never just about the scoreboard. It's about triumphs of resilience and community spirit, like the fictional town of Hickory uniting behind their boys. It's about diverse characters each dealing with their own personal adversity, somehow coming together to forge a collective identity. The team literally becomes a family. And honestly, the reason this resonates with us so much is that their victory becomes a shared cultural triumph. We can all see ourselves in them.
Section 3. Reality, recruiting, and exploitation.
Okay, let's pivot for a second, because it's definitely not all cheering crowds and feel-good moments. Many of these films completely strip away that idealized image of college athletics to expose some deeply entrenched systemic issues. Blue Chips gives us a really cynical, hard look at NCAA corruption and the ethical compromises coaches make. Then you have the landmark documentary Hoop Dreams, which uses its epic runtime to thoroughly document the invisible hoops that inner-city youth have to navigate, things like crippling poverty and underfunded schools. And Spike Lee's He Got Game brilliantly highlights the exploitative family pressures and financial needs that essentially turn young prodigies into pawns for powerful institutions.
If you find this analysis valuable, please like and subscribe to Knowledge Lighthouse to help us bring more truths to light.
Section 4. Race, representation, and love.
So a crucial takeaway here is how basketball cinema became this massive canvas for challenging prevailing societal norms. This timeline visually maps out that incredible evolution of on-screen representation. We start with the deeply divided college courts of the 1960s, beautifully captured in Glory Road, where Coach Don Haskins and Texas Western's all-black starting five literally broke the color barrier in 1966. Moving ahead to 1992, White Men Can't Jump uses the lively, vibrant world of LA streetball to humorously but very sharply explore race and class stereotypes. And then jumping to the year 2000, Love and Basketball completely broke the mold. Director Gina Prince Bythewood gave us this nuanced, groundbreaking perspective centered entirely on a young black woman's athletic ambition and how she navigates love alongside her career. A real game changer.
Section 5. Hollywood spectacle and impact.
Now, transitioning from those grounded realities, we absolutely have to look at the moment the sport morphed into a global pop culture phenomenon. And Space Jam is without a doubt the peak of that era. The concept itself was almost cosmic, blending the live-action dominance of Michael Jordan, who, let's remember, was at the absolute pinnacle of his global brand power back then, with beloved animated Looney Tunes characters. It wasn't just a movie anymore. It was proof that basketball stars had literally become larger-than-life superheroes.
These cinematic spectacles left an indelible mark on global youth culture. I mean, they broadened the hardwood's reach far, far beyond the physical arena. Catchphrases from these scripts entered our everyday vernacular. We got these iconic soundtracks that merged the rhythmic heartbeat of basketball with hip-hop, entirely defining the sound of a generation. They drove massive fashion trends, Air Jordans anyone, and helped recreate these sweeping basketball myths that built the international digital age fandom we still see thriving today.
From gritty, ground-level documentaries to massive Hollywood blockbusters, the interplay between hoops and cinema is just an endless game with no final buzzer. So, as we wrap up, I want to leave you with a question to ponder. Which of these cinematic hardwood heroes will shape the next generation of basketball lore?
Section 6. Own the paperback edition. We have really only scratched the surface of this incredibly rich thematic analysis today. For the complete deep dive, own the paperback. Get your high-quality paperback edition on Amazon via the link in the description. Add it to your collection today. Please share this explainer and check the description for more.